Hey everybody, Omar here, the Knife Shark Guy, and I am back with another fun-filled video for you. And today we're going to be talking about another fun knife maker from South Africa. His name is JD Van Deventer. Now this guy is probably well known, I think, in my own opinion, for the variety of knives that he puts out. What you see here in front of you are 3 of his custom knives that he makes. He makes variously different ones. This one is called the Palladium Flipper, and it's an all carbon fiber knife. Fluted carbon fiber, actually. Runs on ball bearings, not ceramic. Just an overall great piece. It's a tactical knife, as you guys can see. What makes his knife making so unique, again, is the variety. I mean, you look at all 3 of these knives, they look completely different than each other. You would probably even think maybe they were made by 3 different knife makers, but he does do excellent variety. I mean, there's always, you're going to find something in an EDC, or at least a high-end EDC, from JD Van Deventer. He's kind of the guy that kind of walks that line between EDC art and, I don't know, tactical and just regular utility knife. He makes them all, and that's what makes him what makes his work so unique. And of course, the way that the guy puts his materials together on a knife, just really well done, really tight fit and finish. Really do love his work. So what JD Van Deventer offers in a knife is, not only is it variety, but there is a ton of his use, I guess, of materials and how he puts the knives together. So this particular piece here is called the Midi. It's probably one of his most popular knives, just because aesthetically, I mean, it's beautiful. And one of the things that JD has done with his knives is the positioning of his flippers are really attractive. It's almost as if though he's probably heard story after story of people complaining about their pocket knives and the flipper getting in the way when they put their knives in their pocket. He's pretty much taken care of that with this knife. As you can see, the flipper is kind of a little flat on the end over here, so you don't have to worry too much about that flipper piece getting in the way as you go down into your pocket to reach the stuff that you need. And it's like that with all of his knives. He doesn't have any protruding front flippers, as you can see. They're mostly sort of the push-button variety rather than the actual swiping, flipping type. But that's also one of his more unique designs with all of his knives. He also makes front flippers, which is this one right here. This one is a one-of-a-kind handmade front flipper. He does it where the front flipper sort of sticks out just a touch so that you can have really good access and you're not going to miss the flipper when when you're actually using it. So he definitely thinks not only in the way of style of the knife, but in access to the knife. He wants you to be able to use the knife. He wants you to be able to open and close it easily. That's all a part of JD Van Deventer's work. So he has an amazing ability to combine art through the materials and the practicality of the EDC being used in his knives. That's pretty much what he is known for. And, of course, his variety. Now, He puts out knives in a variety of different materials. This is one of the examples of one of his one-of-a-kind handmade where he just went full-blown with the materials. I mean, if you take a look at this knife, there is a lot of eye candy on this thing. It is just 360-degree gorgeous on this one. I'm a big fan of blue. And when I saw this, I had to have it. I had to get it. I'm not a big fan of purple, and as you guys can see, there is no purple on this knife whatsoever. Everything on it is just blued out, and when I saw this, I just had to have it. So let's talk about the materials on this knife for just a little bit. You can see the combination of materials that JD puts together on his knives. The fit, the finish, the quality, the package, all in one. It is just absolutely spectacular. So we've got the blue twill on this knife that just sort of stands out. And then he puts it up against the black shredded marble carbon fiber. And then on the back, he's got a fun surprise with a zirconium pocket clip, which is actually kind of a rare thing to see pocket clips made out of that material. Usually, you'll see them in titanium, you'll see them in carbon fiber, but here we've got it in another interesting material called zirconium, and it's got all these sort of like specks in it, like these gold. I don't know if you can tell from the light, but it's got these gold specks in it. His use and choice of blade style does vary. For the most part, you will find a drop point blade on his knife, but every once in a while, he'll make a tactical knife like this piece here with the fluted carbon fiber. You know, you'll see it's got like this sort of point on it. It's a very scary looking knife. I mean, I got it because I like the look of it. But you can still use this as an EDC piece. I mean, there's still merit in that, using it as an EDC. But yeah, it's more of a tactical knife, I guess, at least from an aesthetics point of view. His use of that fluted carbon fiber. I don't think I've seen fluted carbon fiber all that much on any other knife maker or maker knife other than JD Van Deventer. His use of it is just absolutely stunning. Really tend to love the look of his knives. Here on the small front flipper, he's got these what's called these sort of copperish colored specks in it up against the carbon fiber. Not really quite sure how he did that. We've got the carbon fiber set into an inlay of white G10, or sorry, white G10 is what this is. And on the other side, it is all titanium on that side right there. So it's one of the more common things you'll find in custom knives is where you have one side of the knife made in all one type of material. In this case, we're talking about G10 and the marble or the lightning strike copper carbon fiber on that. So the show side always has that bit of flair to it, but then when you go to the back of the knife, it's all just one piece, all titanium, and it's got that really nice sort of old-fashioned look to it. Really just a handsome little folder. This knife does run on washers. These two here run on ball bearings. One of the mysteries to me regarding JD Van Deventer's knives is the action. Now, the action on these knives are just unreal. Here you can tell it's actually just a steel ball bearing knife. But I'm gonna leave this one, this knife here up to you. What do you guys think? You think this is ceramic, or do you think it's tool steel bearings? Because that was a real mystery to me how he got that. There's no blade play on any of these. When it comes to custom knives, there's no reason to even check for blade play. Not for the price that you pay on these pieces. Yeah, this knife is solid as rock. All these knives are as solid as a rock while still maintaining EDC quality and also giving you the art that you crave on an artwork like this, on a knife like this. So he is not much of a backspacer kind of person. As you can see, all these backspacers are fairly plain. You're not going to find, can't stand these up, you're not going to find, some other weird material on a JD Van Deventer knife other than G10. Why that is, I don't know. Unless, of course, you request it in the custom when you get your knife to be made. If you're asking for one of a kind, he will design a knife for you based on your specifications. He'll work with you on that. And I'm sure you could ask for something on a backspacer, but that's not really what he's into. I think he likes to reserve all of his art. Nobody's dead. Mostly for the show side of the knife or just on the front of the knife. Not paying much attention to the backspacer. You're not going to get one of those Thorburn fancy sort of liners on the back of it. That's just not what JD Van Deventer is all about. Again, he's all about variety. He's all about practicality. He's all about access of the knife, which is why I like his style of knife making. He pretty much takes all of what you're looking for in an EDC and putting it together in a package in a way that maybe you may have never ever seen it before, where it's still got the flash, but it doesn't have so much that you begin to forget that it's even a knife. That's just not his style. And I think he probably prefers it that way, and I think most of his customers prefer their knives to be that way. Just enough flash to keep your attention, but please don't destroy the fact that I'm still an everyday carry knife. So, JD Van Deventer, another highlighting video here. I think I pretty much covered everything that JD is about. If you're interested in JD Van Deventer, you should go check out his website. He does have a lot of variety as far as styles of knives. It's more than just these three. Believe me, I've seen other knife styles that he makes. I don't even know what the names of those are. But it almost seems as if, though, he seems to come out with a new style of knife every few years. I'm lucky to get these three. I thought that these three were probably the most popular of all models. These two are one-of-a-kind handmades. This one is not. I don't know how many of these that he has made, but it can't be all that many. That's one thing about custom knives you want to keep in mind, is that even though it's not a one-of-a-kind in some cases, they're not being pumped out by the thousands, folks. At the very most, maybe 100 of these they may have made, unless you are like Thorburn, with his L51 compact flipper. I don't think anybody really knows how many of those knives he's put out. And even Thorburn, when it comes to sort of a somewhat production piece, what he does is he changes up the materials on his knives so much that he can even take one of his well-known, I'm going to call them production models, even though they're not, one of his well-known, I guess, repeat models, and turn those into one-of-a-kinds for you by changing the configuration of the handle. So there you have it, JD Van Deventer. He's all about style, he's all about variety, he's all about the EDC, giving you just enough flash so that it is something that's pretty to carry in your pocket, but that you still remember that it's an actual EDC knife that's in your pocket, and he does want you to be encouraged to use his knives. So, this is Omar the Knife Shark Guy signing off again with another highlighting video of one of my favorite knife makers again, JD Van Deventer from South Africa. That's what my channel is all about, South African knives. For now, it's what I'm into. I may change it up, but for right now, South African knives are basically where I am. I do highly recommend their knives and their work. My next video will be on the customer service of all South African knife makers, and you know, the fact that they stand behind their products. That will be my next video. So this is Omar the Knife Shark Guy signing off, hoping you'll find one of these 3 great pieces of sharp art someday in your collection. Again, this is Omar the Knife Shark Guy signing off. Hoping you guys are going to continue to stay safe in, you know, during this pandemic. Things are starting to loosen up a little bit. However, not in South Africa. I've got a couple knives that I am currently waiting to get. Unfortunately, because of the shipping constraints, South Africa is not able to ship those knives to me. So it's going to be a while before I can get a new video for you on a new knife. But in the meantime, I'll be thinking of new topics to discuss on my channel. And again, any of you guys like my style, you are more than welcome to send me your knives. I will be more than happy to review them for you. And please make any comments you like. Hopefully you'll be very nice with the comments on anything that I have talked about regarding South African knives, or even Kershaw knives. Please feel free to ask me a question about any of my discontinued Kershaw knives on my channel. I'm more than happy to answer those questions. So there you have it. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this. Maybe this has been somewhat interesting. Maybe it's been a little boring. I don't know. But thanks so much for watching, and you guys have a great evening.